For years, I had an unsettling feeling, not because Emily had slipped up, but because she was too perfect, too careful, too composed. There were no sudden changes in her routine, no mysterious names, no obvious signs like lipstick marks or unfamiliar scents. Nothing overt, yet something deep inside me kept whispering that something wasn't quite right. Emily and I had been together for 10 years, the kind of couple that others looked up to. We traveled the world, shared countless moments of joy, and even in heated moments, she always called me love. Our friends saw us as the ideal match. But appearances can often disguise the deepest fractures, and the happiest-seeming couples sometimes carry the heaviest secrets. The first inkling of doubt was almost too insignificant to notice. One evening, when she came home, I casually said, "You smell different." She paused just a beat too long before answering with a smile. "Oh, it's a new perfume sample from work. The team's trying them out." I nodded, wanting to believe her, but the hesitation hung in the air, a subtle nagging that wouldn't let go. So, I began to pay closer attention. I didn't accuse her or pry through her phone, but I noticed things. Her showers grew longer. Her phone, once decorated with a photo of us, now displayed a generic landscape. She always kept it face down. She'd chuckle at messages, claiming they were from a work group chat, but her behavior had changed. She used to be indifferent when I handled her phone. Now, she'd tense up. The most telling shift was in her demeanor. She smiled more, but there was a distance between us. She seemed further away, like she was emotionally detached, even as she projected warmth. Then came the moment when doubt gave way to certainty. She mentioned a work event, a dinner with a client, and when I offered to drive her, she insisted I stay home. There was something about her insistence that didn't sit right. Something compelled me to follow, but not in a dramatic, detective-like fashion. I kept my distance, turning off the headlights as I parked a few streets away. She didn't drive to a restaurant. Instead, she pulled up to a cozy rental house on the edge of the city. I waited. A man arrived, mid-30s, athletic, confident. Emily hurried into his arms, urgency in her embrace, a hunger I hadn't seen in years. I stayed there, frozen, not angry, not heartbroken, just empty. It was as if I was watching someone else's world fall apart. After a long while, I left. When she came home later that night, claiming to be exhausted from her dinner, she kissed me on the cheek and said, "I love you." I echoed the words, but they felt empty. The following week, I made my move. I hired a private investigator who unearthed her digital trail, photos, messages, audio clips, even bookings under a fake email account, all linked to our joint credit card. Careless. She had no idea I knew. I played my part, still offering morning kisses, coffee in bed, and warm smiles during family visits. But I decided when I would end it. It was a Friday. She came in, carefree, keys jingling, until she saw the dining table. There was a thick envelope beside my wedding ring, and an unlocked phone. She called my name, but I stayed silent, seated in the bedroom. She opened the envelope, flipping through the photos, texts, the evidence. I heard her sharp intake of breath, and then, faintly, "No. God, no." Silence. Then she stood in the doorway, pale, her lips trembling. "How long have you known?" she asked. "Long enough to stop loving the woman I thought you were," I answered. She tried to speak, but I raised a hand. "I don't want explanations or apologies. I just wanted to see if you'd come clean before I showed you I knew." Tears flowed then, not the gentle remorse I might have expected, but frantic sobs as if her entire world had shattered. I didn't yell, I didn't cry. I was beyond that. I stood, grabbed my bag, and walked toward the door. "Where are you going?" she gasped. "To find the part of me you destroyed while pretending everything was fine," I replied. I left, leaving the door slightly ajar behind me. I stayed with a friend that night, and soon found my own apartment. No public scenes, no family dramas. I simply removed myself from her life. People sometimes ask, "Do you miss her?" No, I don't miss her. I miss the woman I thought she was, but that woman was never real. The true Emily was right there all along, hiding behind a flawless mask. Now, I live by one simple truth. When your gut tells you something's wrong, it almost always is. Some betrayals don't require revenge or even closure. They just demand distance. Silence. When someone you love chooses deception over honesty, the relationship dies, whether they admit it or not. You don't need to argue, beg, or seek answers. The most powerful choice is to walk away with your head held high and let them carry the weight of their lies. Healing doesn't come from their remorse. It comes from realizing you never needed a love built on lies.